Hello, Queens. Today, this is a very important topic and it's a very popular topic, and it's called gaslighting. And if this is something you might be experiencing, this is something that you definitely want to get support in, because you're in the script and you don't realize this is actually not a good situation for yourself. However, it sounds like it, and I want to be able to help you to get through it. So stay tuned. Hi, if you don't know who I am, I'm Sindy V King. I'm a creator of Calling My King. I help transform women to create lasting love through Vedic astrology and neuroscience and transactional analysis so that she becomes the queen of love. Specifically, we're going to be talking about gaslighting and how do you know that you are being gaslighted in general, and where is this word coming from as well. I was more interested in the history of the word gaslighting, and I did actually be able to find it. So I'm going to go ahead and quote that for you as I kind of read this out loud. So gaslighting tends to come from in 1938. So it plays back when Patrick Hilton is actually known as American as Angel Street, and later on developed in the word in the film Gaslight. I just want to let you know, if you are being gaslighted in a relationship, this is a form of manipulation in general. It is considered to be an abusive relationship. That's what it falls under, and it has to do with emotional in general. So if you are being gaslighted in a relationship, I do want you to get professional support and help, and let your family and your friends know that you are being gaslighted, and it is considered to be a toxic relationship, and it doesn't matter if it has to be romantically or not. If you are being gaslighted, I really want to reassure that there is a better path that you can handle this as well. Well, what is gaslighting in general, and how does that look like? When gaslighted tends to be is when you are sharing your experience. It's a technique that the other person is using to undermine you from your perception of reality. There's also a lot of confusion when you are being manipulated by the other person, stating that that is not true. This is actually how I saw it, and this is what you should have seen it like. So it is destroying your memories in general. It's okay to, it's okay to disagree about what you felt like, or they didn't feel the same way what they felt in general. It's absolutely okay for that. What is the problem is distorting the person reality and memory, saying that this is not totally true at all, and that you're making it up, and you're absolutely not have the same mental balance that they have. So it can show up anything like they're lying to you, and they can say things, oh, that didn't actually happen, that actually never happened. So that one is one component of it. They can always distract you, and distraction is one technique as well. Distraction tends to be like, oh, they will change the subject, honestly, and that is one form of manipulation when you're trying to address something. So I did address this to you in my transactional analysis about the superego. I do practice that with my queens, and if you are deciding to be in a membership, these are the things that we can get out of the situation if we are being put in. And I strongly believe that everybody has been gaslighted at one point of their life, but how do we get out of it? And I think it's important to practice some of these skills. Another tactic that is also well known, and there's so many more, is shifting the blame. The shifting the blame, it has to do like, oh, this is the reason why I'm doing it. This is the reason why. You're kind of twisting the conversation. So this is the reason why I kind of did what I did. A good, very common denial in the wrongdoing. So they're saying, well, that never actually happens. It's a form of bully in general. So you always feel like unsure, unseen, or unheard of. That's another another form as well. The signs that I really want to specifically touch upon here when it comes to gaslighting, it has to do like doubting your form of reality. That is a very common signs and symptoms that you won't actually notice. There's a feeling of judgment that you have. Obviously, you feel powerless, feel vulnerable is another factor in there as well. You feel disappointed. You feel really confused of like what is actually true or not. So you feel like you're to have to tiptoeing around them quite a bit. I don't know if you guys all notice that, because you feel like your memory is feeling distorted, and every time you say something, they say something totally different. That's not okay. You spend a lot of time feeling sorry or saying that you're sorry. And I made a video about when to apologize and when not to apologize. Transactional analysis made it very clear when to apologize for some of the behaviors and actions that you can come across when dealing with a human being. If you didn't know about a mistake, you don't apologize. You make an amendment. That's about it. There's a lot of confidence issue that might happen in the process if you've been gaslighted. You feel wrong, what you were doing, and you're struggling with a decision, and you feel really distrusted within yourself and around people in general. So you feel like you're absolutely the one is at fault, and when necessarily it's not the case. So I was mentioning earlier about the history about the gaslighting, where they got its name. And again, it has to do with a movie, and it's about the consequences of the wife is actually second guessing themselves, and this is the reason why the name is considered to be a form of controlling. It's a very toxic action and it's a form of manipulation. So that being said, I would recommend watching that movie if that's something that has interest in you, especially for psychology and counseling in general. Okay, here's some of the solution I would recommend if you are being gaslighted. And I did mention a little bit earlier, is not gain distance immediately. I really recommend you that. Save any evidence that you are being gaslight. Really set boundaries, and we practice that in our group as well. I have boundaries within my group as in the membership, and the reason why we have that, because I want you to be able to respect my boundaries, and I want to be able to respect your boundaries as well. So I'm practicing my boundaries and you're practicing your boundaries. It's really important if you are being gaslighted and you are being manipulated and they are distorting your memories and whatsoever, I recommend you ending the relationship. As painful as that is, and I did talk about the 8-week process, I would recommend you doing that and get some really hindsight perspective with a professional. It doesn't necessarily mean that you go and actually speak to your friends about it, because your friends is always going to be your cheerleader and your friend and your family as well. They're always going to be that supportive member within your life, and I really strongly believe, I think we're all adults here, and I think we should all take responsibility for our own behaviors, our own action, and be accountable for our own words. And if somebody is doing this and then continue on doing it and not recognizing, they need to get the support and the transactional analysis that they need to be practicing, that it doesn't happen. Whatever reason they're doing it based on the Maslow hierarchy or the pyramid, this has to do with survival skills. This is how they been taught and do. And I don't think you should be part of their script if this is something they were taught as a child in the process of nature and nurture concept. What's really important right now, if you are being gaslighted, is gain distance and also set boundaries and really consider ending the relationship and getting the support that you need, and make sure that you have the support there. If you have been gaslighted, I do want you to share your story, not to actually put it out in the world, but I think there's so many people are experiencing something like this, and I want to hear some of your thrive and success that you came out of it through as well. If you are currently being gaslighted, I gave you some action plan that you can move forward with and that you don't feel stuck. And I know that as challenging it is, you're kind of watching me on your TV or your device or whatever it is, and you're kind of listening to me. You're like, Sindy, that's such an easy thing to say. I know that what I'm saying is easy at the moment and it's very challenging, but I think it's such a rewarding situation that you kind of like stand up for yourself, and that's what I want for yourself, and it has to do with self-worth at the end of the day. So not allowing people to gaslight you nobody needs to be gaslighted in general. So that being said, I really hope that you have came through, and I really want to hear some of your success story about your relationship, about somebody gaslighting you, and it's very toxic. All right. That being said, if there's a will, there is a way, and this is one resource that you're holding right now, and I hope this is actually going to help you move forward. Thanks. Bye now.